The very first thing I thought of when we started talking about the basement renovation was this piece of art. It had been sitting framed in our house for about 2 years, and I knew I wanted it in the basement. So I knew I wanted to have a wall, sort of a feature wall, as you came down to the stairs, and you could see that. Because we planned for it so early, we were able to put blocking in the wall, which is, significant enough to hold such a heavy piece of art. We move into the hallway. This has taken on a big transformation. 2 big changes here. There used to be a wall that ran here, and that has been removed. And on this side, we had cabinetry that actually jutted out into the space. So those cabinets that were under the stairs are gone, and it feels much wider and much brighter, and that was such a nice big surprise for us. Under the stairs, we had a bit of a debate, and I posted on the blog about what to do. And you guys had a great suggestion, go make it a playroom. So that's what we've done for Chloe. On this portion of the wall, we put some magnetic paint and covered it over with the wall paint, so you can't even tell. This is her little area to display her artwork, her little figures, and we built her a little 3D flower box there that she can change up. So fun little detail for her. I added this little canopy. I made this out of some brackets from Ikea, and I sewed the canopy myself. And we added a little, old school house light to give it a bit of detail. Underneath the stairs, if you want to take a look, it's a fun little place for a little girl just to, play with her dolls and read. I did a stencil here, which took about 3 years out of my life. It took forever to do this stencil. And we've got a little bookshelf with her favorite books, artwork that she can change out. So these are great little frames from Loblaws, and she can slip in her latest piece of art there. We've got some hooks so she can put in some markers and her drawing utensils and some play flowers. And on the other side, we've got a really comfy cushion from Tonic Living and some throw pillows. Sometimes I even find Chloe napping in there or, cuddled up there with her dolls. This is our fun little cleaning closet. And again, I put the stripes on the wall because I wanted to smile and have it wink at me every time I looked in there. Who says cleaning can't be fun? We really made best use of the space by having some hanging shelving on the sides and some hooks on the wall. We also put our aprons in here, so our art paper, so anything that's a bit oversized gets tucked away into this closet, and when we're done, we can just close it on up. So the rest of the basement is one giant space, and in this zone we had to incorporate craft area, entertaining area, playroom, and office space. I think we've pretty much done that. So I'm standing in the creative zones of the basement. We've got the home office over here, we've got the craft area on this side. To really define the space, we've got a lot of cabinetry. We've got fantastic Martha Stewart cabinets from the Home Depot. And they're in a nice warm white to really blend with the space and you don't notice them too much. We've got a great Korean countertop, which is unobtrusive and adds a little bit of that beachy kind of coastal feel to the room. On this side of the room, this is my area. So this is where I work from day to day. We've dropped the desk area here, so I've got a nice height to work at, but I've got all of my craft supplies, my art supplies right at hand here in the deep drawers. To keep the cabinetry from looking too heavy, we've got some really pretty vintage looking ribbed glass in this tower right here. I've got my fabric samples there. We've got a nice little old school kind of latch and some cup holes, which adds a bit of that vintage flair. I like to be inspired by my space, so I've got lots of pretty things here, creative things that I can look at. So on the desk here, we've got my washi tapes, some new artwork. We've also hidden all the cords to this little grommet. And another thing we've hidden behind the pegboard is our electrical panel. So again, these are things that every basement has, but you don't necessarily need to look at them. Think of ways that you can hide them or incorporate them into your design. To really define the craft zone and make it feel a little bit cozier, we've added these whitewashed planks to the wall. So the paneling really adds a nice bit of texture and adds that cottagey feel that we've got going throughout the rest of the space. Again, lots and lots of cabinetry on this side. We opted for a huge banquette, which we can pile lots of friends and family into, or you can just take an afternoon nap. It's great for that. And below it, below the banquette, we've got these deep drawers. Again, they hold lots of toys and also that wrapping paper that doesn't fit anywhere else in your house. So that's where I have mine hidden. But to keep things from feeling too precious, we've got an old harvest table. We shopped at antiques fairs for a couple of years and found just the right table and put it into this space. But we paired it with these metal chairs. Really easy to wipe down. They're a nice bright red, so kids love them. It's great to add a pop of red into the space. But again, all these surfaces are easy to keep clean. We refinished this table, we varnished it so there's no old paint coming through. We can wipe down the metal chairs, and the banquette is covered in outdoor fabric. So it's not too precious. We're able to arts and crafts and make a mess whenever we want to, and everything ends up looking just as good as it was. So we spent a lot of time thinking about how we were actually going to use this space, and we wanted to cram everything we needed down in the basement, and we've planned our layout around that. But you also want to think about how you're going to light the space once it's in use. So down in the basement, we actually have 4 different lighting zones: under the bulkhead over the TV, in this main area, down the hallway, and here over the craft table. It's really important, again, to think before you actually demolish anything, before you start any work. Where do you want your electrical fixtures? I knew I wanted the table. It had to be a certain size, and I wanted lighting right centered above it. So we had to plan that while we were here. You can make changes along the way while you have all the drywall off and your electrician is on site to see if you want to add a few more lights. But it's a good idea to think about all of these things and incorporate them into your grand plan. I really wanted our 4-year-old daughter, Chloe, to have her own space in the basement. So she would feel free to come down here on her own, and she could play away and, just feel free to use anything. So this is her area. All of her arts and crafts are here, all of her toys are in this area, and she's able to pull them out herself. We've got a little deep bookshelf for some of her books, and she can just grab one and have a seat on the bench. We've got her play kitchen, which we built, and I added the foam mat. Some of her stuffed toys, they're all out there and they're accessible for her. Then we have this big tall tower right in the corner. It's a good thing to put it in the corner because then it doesn't feel so heavy. And actually, with the L-shaped design of the banquette, it's a nice way to end sort of the cabinetry. In this cabinet, we've got bins for her toys, all of her crafts, and she's just able to pull them out. And best thing, she's able to put them back in. So it's accessible for her, and it keeps the basement looking nice and neat. Here I am in the entertaining zone of the basement. This zone is anchored by this really graphic rug. That's from Rugs USA. And again, there's sort of a subtle star theme and black and white theme that's running through all of our accessories. This is a piggy print I picked up at a consignment store. Again, had this sitting in storage. Didn't know how to frame it. We had it sitting on the countertop for the longest time, but now we created our own shadow box out of a giant ribbon frame. So it's giving it a bit more presence, and it really fills up this wall nicely. Other things in this area, we've got the Ikea Sofa. Great enough, small size that we could fit it down the stairs, and it's large enough that we can pile in here if we're watching the latest Disney movie. Again, a big TV that you might not want to have up in your main living space, but down here in the basement, it's entirely fine. This is our movie night zone. I've got some faux plants actually from Ikea, and I've just added a few DIY touches to them to make them fit a bit more into the space. But that's the basement. It's a really family-friendly space. We love being down here. It's actually changed the entire way we live in our house. We spend so much time down here, and we spend the time together. So if you're embarking on a basement renovation, make up your dream list, find a way to fit it all in, and it'll really transform how you feel about your house. Thanks.